over. All in together goes, never mind the weather goes. When they call your birthday, please run in. January, February, March, April, May. Teddy bears, go upstairs. Teddy bears, say your prayers. Teddy bears, switch off the light. Teddy bears, say good night. Somebody under the bed, I don't know who it is. I feel so jolly nervous, I call me Annie. And you light the candle, I blow it out. Get out, you dirty rascal stuff.
On a Saturday afternoon. 1, 2, 3, O'Leary, 4, 5, 6, O'Leary, 7, 8, 9, O'Leary, 10, O'Leary, over. 1, 2, 3, O'Leary, 4, 5, 6, O'Leary, 7, 8, 9, O'Leary, 10, O'Leary, over. 1, 2, 3, O'Leary, 4, 5, 6, O'Leary, 7, 8, 9, O'Leary, 10, O'Leary, over.
Plainsy, clapsy, twirl the wheel to backsy. First your heel and then your knee, then your toe and under you go. Plainsy, clapsy, twirl the wheel to backsy. First your heel and then your knee, then your toe and under you go. Plainsy, clapsy, twirl the wheel to backsy. First your heel, then your knee, then your toe and under you go. Plainsy, clapsy, twirl the wheel to backsy. Plainsy, clapsy, twirl the wheel to backsy. First your heel, then your knee, then your toe, and under you go.
When will you pay me, say the bells of Old Bailey. When I grow rich, say the bells of Shoreditch.
When I go rich, say the bells of Shoreditch.
Welcome to the last slot of today's. Can please those raise their arms who have not been here before today? We've been working a bit against this idea that there's just one slot, so we've been having a conversation, and it's an ongoing conversation. So if you find that there's some things that you don't understand because you're missing some information, just speak up and we'll try together to get you up to speed. It's the last spot. As you can see, we've, no, you can't see yet, but I hope you will see that we've progressed or not in a forward way, but there's a development between the first film we've seen, and now we're coming to a situation where there's two artists actually here who are presenting work, one in the format of performance and one in the format of an artist's conversation. And again, please feel welcome to interject, or to maybe not in the performance, but afterwards in the conversation when you feel that you want to say something. And with that, I welcome Louis Jacob on the stage. But before, I have to say where this clip is from that I showed you just now. It's from a documentary called One Potato, Two Potato, from Leslie Dyken. And it's published by BFI, so it's actually even BFI has this way of this online website, but you have to pay for it, I think. But it can also be gotten via BFI DVD. So in case any of you are interested in that, it's available. And I chose this for Louis.
In Toronto's Polish neighborhood, where I live, there's a church with a banner that instructs us to hear God's music in the voice of a child. I see it every day as I walk down Roncesvalles Avenue, shopping for groceries, or on my way to the bank. I have ample opportunity to think about this strange message. On most days, I think, well, of course, everyone knows that children are cute. Hearing the music of God in a child's voice is easy. I wonder what the idea of the divinely transcendent can possibly mean to us today. If it means anything at all, then I think the divine is there to challenge us to see beyond the comfortable consensus of our communities. The divine is, from this perspective, nothing but a tear in the smooth texture of the social fabric. Far from being the guarantee of unity of a community, the divine is simply that discordant noise that puts it to question. In such a scenario, the idea of God is there, perhaps, only to steer us away from the sweet voices of angels and cute kids, and towards the atonal voices of the dispossessed, the frustrated, the despicable, the crazy, and the alienated people among us. As the figure of transcendence, God exhorts us to try to hear his music precisely in the twisted voices of those most lacking in comunitas. Surely that would be divine. On other days, my mind goes elsewhere, and I think, perhaps it's the cuteness of children that is at stake. Not that being cute is such a bad thing, but rather that being perceived as cute in social relations comes at a price. Being cute, for all the privileges it may bring, is also a leash around our necks that defines in advance the field and scope of our human potential. I recognize myself as that cute little boy that others project onto me. I play it up. I turn photogenic. More perniciously, I identify myself my inner soul, wholly in terms of my social status, producing a smooth continuity between inside and outside, without holes or wounds. A heartthrob actor might now complain of being pigeonholed, but Althusser would say that being cute is simply a form of being hailed or interpolated by those around us. In both cases, cuteness is emblematic of all identity. It points to a universal condition in which our self-image as subjects is prefigured by our role within existing social relations, to which we assent in order to have a self at all. The cuteness of a child is defined precisely by that young body's unique elasticity as it is molded by the social forms of the adult's world. And as subjects, we are all cute little children. There is a song by Laurie Anderson titled "Born, Never Asked." It was a large room, she said, full of people, all kinds. And they had all arrived at the same building at more or less the same time. And they were all free. And they were all asking themselves the same question: what is behind that curtain? You were born, and so you're free. So happy birthday. Birth, she reminds us, always takes the form of being birthed without consultation. In other words, birth is the predicament of entering a world that in every case was built before our entrance there. A world whose existing forms shape our identities, including, ironically, our destiny as free individuals. We are always already interpolated. To exist as a subject is to be born into a world whose built forms summon us into being the subjects that we then are. To exist as a subject, then, is to be existed from the outside, as it were, and to be subjected by a world that guides me with an almost parental solicitude, while it presents itself to me as an ambiance of free and more or less open possibilities. You were born, and so you're free. Andreas Gursky's Ruhr Valley depicts this condition of being existed by the world. It does so with remarkable succinctness. In this photograph, the world that the child is born into is one built to subtend and overarch us as a kind of second nature, ubiquitous, hard as steel, and clear as air. The social world's horizon of possibilities is premised on transparency. It has been engineered as a frame open so wide that it can disappear for the subject, blend into the environment to function simply as something taken for granted, an ambiance of the scale of the natural world. We might sense something hesitant in the photograph, a brief moment of reflection as the figure, alone with itself in the landscape, stops for some inexplicable reason before we imagine resuming his walk like nothing had happened. What is behind that curtain? The social world in Gursky's photograph is depicted as a framework that functions smoothly and without gaps or glitches, but other visions are possible. Anne Golson's photographs, published in Colin Ward's book, The Child and the City, offers a different perspective. Here, the world that the child is born into still functions as a pervasive framework, but this time it presents itself as being neither transparent nor full of possibilities. Fences subdivide the universe, and sidewalks tell us explicitly which realms are for cars and which realms for pedestrians. The borders that articulate space are there to limit movement and inhabitation. Nature exists here too, but only as the natural fact that children will beget children, and that the social order will reproduce itself in us. I do hear music in this child's voice, a soft lullaby sung to another child, who is and is not quite there. That child is as much the photographer who is taking the picture as it is the viewer who is looking at the photograph. There is a moment of reflection here too, but it does not occur as a moment spent with oneself, lost in thought. Reflection in this world occurs between two subjects. Reflection is therefore another form of interpellation, and here it is oriented around an empty center. The openness of the baby carriage is not the openness of wide horizons. This openness is only the meagerness of something missing or something abandoned. Its openness is ironic. The baby carriage is a place to close one's eyes and sleep, as well as a mechanism to keep one in place. It is an enclosure. The baby carriage is itself a type of fence whose openness is there to contain a type of ghetto. The baby carriage is the city we live in. Anne Golson's view of the world is not always so glum. Spontaneous play is possible here as well, even among the endless subdivisions that tell us what realm is private and what is public, what realm is for play and what is for work, what realm is for spending and what is for earning. A child performs a gesture of free movement within this framework, a burst of dance within the movements of daily life, an exercise in what Colin Ward called the art of making the city work. The caption for this photograph, "Cartwheels for Pennies in Dusseldorf," reorients our attention. Once again, we find ourselves facing an empty center, the playground in which the child's play is not taking place, because there is no playground here. Because here, things are not in fact in their proper place. There's a disturbance in the smooth flow of things, a discrepancy between the way things are supposed to be and the way things are. Here, play becomes a type of performance, a calculated form of spontaneity. And here, play becomes a type of work, an effort at making ends meet. There's a second child at the right edge of the photograph who lags behind an adult. I interpret this inability or unwillingness to keep up as a gesture of resistance against the advice to just keep walking. I see it as an expression of the desire to catch a glimpse of something before it disappears and things return to normal. We recognize that the first child's cartwheel is a sign of that child's precarity. But we also see that it is an instance of a subject's creative engagement with the objective forms of this precarious world. The children depicted in Helen Levitt's photographs are famous for their ingenuity in using the stuff that they find in the world around them to creatively invent what that world did not provide. Sometimes a piece of chalk is all that is needed to create a space where previously there was none, to envision something else behind the obdurate forms of the world as they have been handed down to us at birth. I would like to conclude with this image. It seems perfectly to capture the words of Maurice Sendak, who noticed Levitt's ability to see the extraordinary paradox of children's lives, watching them duck and dive between total fantasy and hard reality. The photograph depicts a moment of discontinuity in the social world, a vision premised on something that has shattered. No one in the photograph appears to interpret this shattering as a cause for alarm. In this universe, life with a hole at its heart is nothing to fear. A group of children congregate around a large mirror. Its reflective glass has broken and lies in pieces on the sidewalk. Two children busy themselves with the broken shards, while two others prop up the remaining wooden frame, which, in proportion to their bodies, appears as a door frame or a gateway. Life goes on around them. Groups of adults are talking near a shoe repair shop, and two young women converse with a girl in front of the laundry shop. The world of children exists as a world apart, but not disconnected from the world of adults. Beautifully, each world allows the other its own spaces. But children, not adults, are the custodians of the border between these two realms. It is they who ensure that this border retains both its permeability as well as its theatricality. In this world, children are there to turn the hard facts of social consensus into the stuff of fiction. The two boys who attend to the wooden frame like two sentinels at a gate are distracted by the goings-on around them. And I think their distraction is key. It renders all the more miraculous the appearance of a child on a tricycle at the center of the picture, who is framed as an image inside an image by the mirror they are holding. Because of his existence in a photograph, his actual stance of repose on the tricycle is equally legible to us as an action at full speed caught at a standstill by the shutter of the camera. The child is about to cross a threshold, like Alice through the looking glass. By means of the children's collective choreography in the street, the child erupts into the built environment like a visitor from transcendent realms, or like an ally through a secret passageway, opening new spaces in the world where previously we might have believed there were none. Thank you.